The Russian government. The government of Russia is a semi-presidential republic according to the 1993 constitution. Under a semi-presidential structure, the president and the prime minister share governing responsibilities as the head of state and head of government respectively. The president does, however, hold more power. Multiple political parties are presented throughout the government and its administration. Three branches share the responsibilities of running the country: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. Currency. The currency is called Russian ruble. 1 Russian ruble equals 0.015 USD.
Nationalism is defined as loyalty and devotion to a nation, especially a sense of national consciousness. It can also mean exalting one nation above all others and placing primary emphasis on promotion of its culture and interests. Nationalism centers on a country's culture, language, and often race. It may also include shared literature, sports, and the arts. Its main purpose is driven by all cultural associations. Historically, nationalism has used the economic, political, and cultural spheres as its means to promote the well-being and superiority of a given nation over of all others. Nationalism was first used in the 18th century as a common way to define and promote a nation according to ethnographic principles. Although the Roman Empire and the Holy Roman Empire had some nationalistic aspects, they were much more in favor of a so-called world state spanning nations under one banner. By the 18th and 19th centuries, however, the French and American Revolution sparked a new age of nationalism and promoted a unified nation in its political and economic interests through capitalism.
Russian nationalism. Russian nationalism emerged in the second half of the 18th century due to the interest of higher education circles, the currents of Western philosophy and political thought. Initially, the nation was understood by the cultural and intellectual elite as part of the existing order. The Decembrist revolt of 1825 demanded the elimination of autocracy. This shocked the high society, and the majority observed in Western values a direct threat to Russian interests. The 1830 uprising in Poland and the revolutionists in Europe confirmed the fears of the impact, for the Russian power elites, of the destructive new Western currents.
In 1833, Count Sergei Uvarov tried to unite Russian nationalism with the idea of preserving the Russian Empire and official tradition, raising the thesis that the origins of the Russian nation are Orthodox Christianity. Autocracy and nationalism. Some claim that the backwardness of Russia and in the illusions that external differences in customs and culture hide the reality itself, including the lack of true freedom and equality. Others insisted that the West was a fundamental bad way and the Russians saved the West from the opposite of liberalism. Russian nationalism was a movement of elite until the emergence of social movements in the 20th century.
Since they came to power in 1917, the Bolsheviks suppressed Russian nationalism, officially declaring that nationalism was a hostile ideology, as it opposed the idea of proletarian internationalism, one of the principles of Marxism. Thus, the Russification program that began in the 20th century under Nicholas II was continued by the Soviet authorities. During the Second World War, trying to unite the people against the invaders, Stalin appealed to national sentiment and patriotism, while resorting to the deportations of people in the Soviet Union. Some believe that due to the lack of nationalism in the USSR, fascism did not succeed.
In the USSR, under the national policy was understood the solution in the problems of the non-Russian peoples. Therefore, this is a fact that confirms the unity and the thinking of the vast majority. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, disintegration and disillusionment with economic reforms, extremist nationalism has had a great boom. In 2006, the ethnic conflicts in Gondoponga had a great resurgence in Russian society.
Some nationalists maintain the transition of Russia has not yet ended, while the traditionalists defend reinforcing the vertical supports of the state. The modernists ask for the nationalization and the increase of horizontal social ties. In 2005, the analysts of the VTS-IOM concluded that the results of the construction of a nation-state in Russia is negative, due to the subordination of politics and to corporate interests. This has led to an increase of ethnic identity in Russia, which acts as a state ideology.
Any conflicts in the Gondoponga? Alexander!
Cuando
ponga los huevos en su mirón. Y eso es lo último.
Alexander, esa es la última oración.
Eso era ahí también.
Pero yo no estoy en el video.
Yo no puedo con gente riendo de todo. Entonces, Vázquez tiene una cara bien graciosa. Entonces estoy mirando la cara de Vázquez que me da risa.
In the USSR, under the national policy, was understood the solution to the problems of non-Russian peoples. Therefore, this is a fact that conflicts the unity and the thinking of the vast majority. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, disintegration and